What's up, guys? Me out. I'm back in a video. This is actually delayed because I had to update my laptop. But regardless, here is my 2021 NASCAR Xfinity Series Phoenix race review. Um, so to kick things off, Michael Annett and Ryan Vargas, both failed tag twice, so they had to go to the rear. Or I don't think they did. No, no, that's if you fail three times. Okay, sorry, my apologies. They lost. They just lose pit stall selection for the next race. No big deal, or kind of a big deal. Austin Cindric gets the early lead. Competition caution comes out at lap 20. Matt Mills possibly blew an engine. It sounded like he was having engine issues. Thought his day would be done, but Chris Knight tweeted out that Mills was looking to get back in the race, and they got it fixed and did get him back in the race. Um, Greg Galding would get a penalty for equipment over the wall too soon while pitting. And then the rest of the stage went on. And Austin Cindric picked up the stage one victory. Brandon Jones second. Harrison Burton third. Daniel Hemrick fourth. Noah Gragson fifth. Justin Allgaier sixth. Justin Haley seventh. Jeb Burton eighth. Michael Annett ninth. And Ty Gibbs in 10th. And Bob Pockers reported that Jesse Little wrecked at the end of the stage, bagging into the wall after experiencing a brake issue. His day was done. And then Brandon Jones got caught speeding on pit road. I was off and on. Around this time, I was a little off and on, um, off and on. Internet, Google, all that, because of trying to, my, you know, downloading update for my laptop with Windows and all that. But I was still watching the race and stuff. So I didn't get to see the incident with Dexter Bean and Greg Galding, but I did catch up. But that was a caution. But I did catch up on a caution that came afterward, which was just more bad luck for Noah Gragson. Fluid comes out, car briefly catches fire underneath. Whatever the issue was, it ended his day. Just pain. And for Junior Motorsports as a whole, it wouldn't get much better from there. Though Daniel Hemrick would win stage two, Harrison Burton finishing second, Justin Allgaier third, Austin Cindric fourth, Justin Haley fifth, Jeb Burton sixth, AJ Allmendinger seventh, Josh Berry eighth, Ty Gibbs ninth, and Brandon Jones in 10th. Michael Annett would go to the garage with engine issues, and his day would be done. Um, Harrison Burton slides into his pit box and has to back up, loses a bunch of spots on pit road. And then we get to stage three. Justin Allgaier takes the early lead. Ryan Vargas gets in the wall on the front stretch and has to pit. Daniel Hemrick drops from the front row on the restart to 11th. He reported that he was not happy with the balance of his car. Also got loose at one point in one of the corners. Kyle Weatherman ended up having to go to the garage a little while later. He would come back out though. Caution would come out with 77 to go. Tommy Joe Martin's getting into the wall. And then during pit stops, Daniel Hemrick and Jeb Burton both got caught speeding, so they both had to go to the back. Ryan Sieg just took fuel and gets off pit road first, and then he ends up going up the track, gets a little bit of contact from Josh Berry as everybody was just fanning out and going multiple, wide. And Sieg ended up in the wall. And then just a short bit later, caution comes out for Harrison Burton spinning or getting loose and spinning in turn two. He doesn't hit anybody, so he's all right. Josh Berry has to pit for a loose wheel and then gets a speeding penalty. Next caution that comes out a couple laps later, Brett Moffitt gets some contact from Jeremy Clements, and Moffitt spins, doesn't collect anybody else, doesn't collect the wall either. So he was fine. And then on the restart, Brandon Jones gets the lead from Austin Cindric. And then this was a funny moment in the race. I don't know if I'm going to use it as a thumbnail or not. Probably not. But Josh Berry spun, bringing out the caution, and his day was unfortunately done. He had a tire that went down, which caused it. He got contact from Santino Ferrucci prior to that, which caused Berry to get into the wall prior to what happened. And then as Ferrucci came back around, Berry, after having gotten out of the car, he double flipped off Ferrucci. Shades of Christian Eckes to Ben Rhodes at Texas last year. But yeah, so that happened. Um, but either way, so that was a funny moment. Sucks that Berry's day had to end that way, but funny moment that he, double flipped off Santino Ferrucci because, you know, um, Then we get back going. Um, Looks like Brandon Brown made a little bit of contact with Myatt Snyder. It was hard to tell, but Snyder ended up in the wall. No caution though. He's all right. Ryan Sieg from earlier, his day would end. I think I saw a tweet. I think it was a control arm that broke for him, which sucks, but you know. And then a little while later, caution comes out for Brandon Jones. He gets spun by AJ Allmendinger, and he gets into the inside wall. Jones's day is done. We get to the restart. We're coming down, as the laps wind down. Jade Buford gets into the wall. Looked like some debris came off his car, but no caution was thrown until 9 laps to go when Alex LeBay spun and backed into the wall. Um, and then he ends up getting held 2 laps down for too many, or 2 laps on pit road for too many men over the wall while under the damaged vehicle policy. So then we get to the final restart of the race, and shit got chaotic. No joke. So it looked like Daniel Hemrick had a bit of an issue on pit, or not on pit road, but on the restart, or just before it. It looked like he bobbled or something. And now with Phoenix, everybody goes wide. Since they moved the start finish line to the backstretch, or what was the backstretch, you now go into the dog leg and you go 5 wide or however you want. Justin Haley gets in the wall. Then Daniel Hemrick gets in the wall. Then Justin Allgaier gets in the wall. Coming to the checkered flag, it looked like Harrison Burton got sideways, or he was sideways. But either way, no caution gets thrown for any of the, Haley, Hemrick, or Allgaier. Everybody somehow the chaoticness, just everybody somehow survives. Nobody really no big wreck happens. Cindric takes the white flag. Ty Gibbs, he's on a manhunt. He's trying to run him down. Unfortunately, just not enough time to do it. Cindric gets the victory. Ty finishes second. I'm impressed with Ty Gibbs. He got up into the top 10, ran up in the top 10 for a lot of the race once he was up there. And to get a second place finish in his second start in the Xfinity Series after winning at the Daytona Road Course, bruh, that's an impressive start. And he's only 18 years old. He's younger than me. Wow. But just look at this top 10. Brandon Brown in third. Riley Herbst gets his first top 10 of the season after some shit luck all season long, so up to this point, other than the 11th place finish he had. Allmendinger fifth. Jeb Burton in sixth. Bayley Currey comes home in seventh. He puts Mike Harmon Racing in the top 10. And it's not like he came out of nowhere to do it. If you were watching, he was running about 10th or, between 10th and 12th for a good portion of the latter end of that race. And he was just in the right place at the right time. Chaos happens in front of him. He gets by, and Curry ends up in the top 10 with a 7th place finish. Holy shit. And speaking of Mike Harmon Racing, I got their recently released Kyle Weatherman Darlington throwback car, which I reviewed earlier but haven't been able to post because, again, downloading the update for the laptop, watching a race, all of that. So that will be going up after this video is up. So stay tuned for that. Justin Allgaier, he survives as far as JRM goes and ends up finishing 8th, even though he did kind of get in the wall there. Brett Moffitt finishes 9th, and Jeremy Clements brings home a 10th place finish. JJ Yaley was running in the top 10 at one point. We watched Yaley and Herbst battle it out. I think Yaley finished like 12th. Ferrucci, I think, was in the top 15 or 20. So pretty solid race all around. Sucks to see what happened for Haley and then Hemrick and then Allgaier and whoever the fuck else. But overall, this was a pretty darn good race. There were some battles all around. The PJ1, I'm not so sure about at this point, being at Phoenix and especially with where they placed it. I mean, I don't think many people are going to really go up into that, especially when going across the start finish line, you can go as far down as you want, as long as you, of course, make it back up on the track and shit. But, yeah, I would say it was a pretty good race. Huge congrats to Austin Cindric picking up his second win of the season. He wins the Daytona opener, and then, he won. He won Phoenix last year to win the championship. Wins it again this year. Tough day for Junior Motorsports, though. First Gragson, then Annett, and then Josh Berry has issues. Allgaier somehow survives, but he doesn't survive unscathed because, again, he got in the wall with 2 to go. Um, so I, it's weird because Junior Motors, again, somebody tweeted this out. This is Gragson's 3rd DNF of the season so far. He had 3 all of last year, and it seems like Junior Motorsports is just struggling out of the gate. I mean, they seem to have some pretty darn good runs throughout the races so far, but it's either getting caught up in other people's messes. Obviously, we all know what happened at Homestead with Gragson and David Starr. We're not going to talk about that right now. Josh Berry had shit happen there. Annett's been here and there. Allgaier's had his own issues. All of Junior Motorsports seems to be struggling early on, and it's kind of concerning when you think about it. Because again, look at last year. Obviously, Allgaier, he didn't really turn it on until later in the year. Annett's Mr. Consistency when it comes to finishing most of the time, or a lot of the time, really. And Gragson got his first win of the season in the Daytona opener. So, am I worried? Not yet, but yeah. Junior Motorsports got to get your shit together. Just saying. Again, huge finishes for Brandon Brown and Bayley Currey. People are going to give shit to Riley Herbst because he was getting outrun by JJ Yeley at one point, or he was battling him for 9th. And he was battling Jade Buford at one point before Buford had his own issues, which some would say that that Herbst might have attributed to because he probably got into the left rear of Buford at one point because you could tell that Buford's left rear was missing the Goodyears. So who knows? But honestly, the start of the season's been iffy for a lot of guys. Like I said, Junior Motorsports, especially with Gragson, because which is mind-boggling to me, but really no fault of his own. I mean, again, Daytona got caught up in other people's messes. Daytona Road Course had issues before the race, managed to get all the way back up, finally getting a winning contention, and then got caught up in other people's messes. Homestead got caught up in David Starr's mess, unfortunately. And then today, something happened. Mechanical, probably. But it sucks to see. But I mean, Gragson's gonna get a win. He's gonna get a few. They just got to get past all these early season gremlins. But again, huge respect for Ty Gibbs. I mean, a first and a second in your first 2 starts, and you look really good in both of them, bruh. That's awesome for an 18-year-old, especially. Bayley Currey getting a top 10 after running pretty solidly throughout the race. Again, he was up in 12th before the last restart and was up there when the last restart happened. Brandon Brown grabbing a 3rd place finish. That's huge. Again, tough day for guys like Brandon Jones, the JRM guys, Ryan Sieg. We'll just have to see what happens from here on out. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Again, stay tuned for that other diecast review and go check out the one from earlier today if you have not already. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.